Guys, hope everyone's doing okay today. Something I want to talk about today, I'll try to keep it brief. I feel like anything we can do to simplify things for our puppies, it's a quicker way to success. Anything we can do to make it easier, we're going to achieve success a lot quicker. And I just want to talk about, communicating with our dogs and doing so effectively. An example I want to give you, if you look at SeaWorld, for instance, with dolphin trainers, we hear they use whistles and clicks to communicate with a dolphin because that's how dolphins communicate. Duck hunters that are calling in ducks to, for hunting purposes, they use a duck call to mimic ducks. Deer hunter, the same way. An example, if we went in to adopt a child and that child speaks Spanish or French and we want to communicate with them the quickest way would be to speak their native tongue. Dogs are no different. And a lot of times we bypass a lot of work that's been done for us that a lot of people overlook and don't take advantage of. And over the years, and talking 20 plus years, I've just picked up on it and it works well for me, and I'm gonna share it with you guys. The mother dog, she establishes that communication for us prior to that puppy, usually should be, ever leaving. She establishes that series of growls, which it communicates to let the puppy know, it's getting severe, or, you need to quit. And, when they get past that 6 week, 7 week old range, she may, actually put her mouth on their neck and growl, and, puppy will feel that sensation, and it intensifies things a little bit. And that's basically what I do, is I have a series of growls that I do with the puppy. And prior to getting the puppy, I will go, I like for my puppies to at least be 8 weeks old. I'll go and I'll usually watch the interaction between the mother and that puppy. Just like all animals or people, the way I may communicate with my daughter, it may not work for the way I need to communicate with my son. Well, a litter of puppies are the same way. Some may be corrected extremely easy, while some are very tenacious and need a little stronger form of correction. And so what I like to do is see how that mother, once I pick up my puppy, which I've usually done so previously, I like to see how the mother dog communicates with my puppy. Do I have a hard-headed puppy, or do I have one that, curves really easy? And I'll watch how she communicates, and that kind of lets me know how firm I need to be on my end on corrections. And what I typically do is once I watch that and observe it, I take that information and I go home, that first week, I will allow the puppy just to bond. Myself, I typically sleep on the floor with my puppies the first week. I just like to get bonded with them really quick. I think it helps them settle in. But what I like to do is just establish the growl very early to pick up right where mother left off. There's no gap there. Everything in their DNA tells them this is the way to communicate correctly. This feels natural. It's not forced. It's not complicated. For instance, you come in and your wife says no, and you say stop that, and your daughter says quit that, and your son says don't do that. There's all this the puppy's trying to relate. This all means the same thing. It's very confusing. So what I typically do is I'll get on the floor and take a treat, and allow the puppy to come in, and I'll be on my stomach and have the treat, right under my chin. And as the puppy comes in, I'll just let out a little slight growl to communicate to the puppy, don't come in here. And typically, I'll look and watch. And typically what I'm looking for is, ears to go back. Puppy may start quickly wagging his tail very fast. It's just a sign of submission, saying he's no threat. And if that stops him, that lets me know right then this low, very silent or very quiet growl that communicates to him effectively. And he'll usually curb it right there. And if not, I'll raise it up. And of course, as they get older a little bit, they're gonna press that. And I may go to the point where I'll actually put my mouth on their neck and growl so they'll feel that same sensation in their throat on the side of their neck that their mother applied. It's not any painful, there's no hurt. But that vibration triggers everything in their DNA. Hey, I know this is natural to me. This says stop it. And then that usually establishes it, and I get my growl established there. There's a correction ladder I like to talk about. I'll touch on this briefly. Don't jump to the top of a ladder on your corrections, because when you get to the top on rung 10, there is no rung 11. Where do you go from there? What do you do? So keep them very slight. And if you do have to jump up, try to back right back down and keep it light, And my dogs, my older dogs, I can growl at them from across the yard. And it's typically just a hey, and then I'll step it up to hey you, and just drag it out a little bit deeper. But typically my growl is just hey, kind of like that. And make it a little guttural in your throat, especially when you're establishing with the puppy early. And then you can just transfer that over from just a the growl to a hey, and you'll be surprised how well these dogs pick up on this. And then when I'm training later, if I'm getting them to hold a sit or what have you, and they start to move, if you watch some other videos, you may hear me say, hey, and it's just a correction of don't do that. And that's what, in their DNA, that's what this communicates to them. This is natural. It flows. There's no, I don't break down the communication from I pick up the puppy, I come home, and now we're going to do English 101 for 2 months. I don't do that. I pick right up with Dog 101, and hopefully I'm doing well. And it does take some practice, but it is very effective. It's very natural. It works very well. So I wanted to share that with some people today. I find it very interesting. I've had a lot of people comment on it, have some people ask me to talk about it, and I thought I would do so today. We got a little rain, can't really do anything outside. But again, the correction ladder, please pay attention to that. If you go up, bring it back down. You don't have to be a 10 because, this puppy's going to do a lot of things and cause some corrections over the course of time. And we don't want to get up to a 10. That's when things usually get out of hand, or somebody may want to put their hands on a puppy or get really forceful. We want to stay away from that. And another thing I like to apply is pressure. It's just communication as well. A lot of dogs, some dogs are very sensitive to pressure. For instance, your border collies are very sensitive to pressure. And by pressure, I mean this. If I'm talking to you and we're face to face and all of a sudden I lean in like that, you're going to feel that pressure just from my body. It's going to apply a little pressure on you. You're going to feel a little bit uncomfortable. And I do that with my dogs as well. I have the growl correction, and it could be if they're starting to jump on something or get into something, I just give that growl. If that doesn't correct it right then, if they're getting in that little range or they're wanting to test me a little bit, like all dogs will do, I may step in their direction a little bit, and it's not a threatening. I'm not gonna go over and put my hands on them, but I close the distance with my body language and that pressure, and they say, okay, now I want out. And this all works by me laying this foundation very early. It's very effective. Hope you guys try it. Hope it works for someone. I got some other videos I'm gonna put together pretty soon. We've had a tremendous amount of rain. But if anybody would like a particular video on anything, please comment in the section. I'll be glad to talk about it and see what maybe we can put together and help someone get it corrected. But my Malinois puppies are doing great, Kilo and Kane. And like I said, I have some videos with them pretty soon. Hope everyone's having a great day, and I look forward to seeing you soon.